19th of November 2013. I am your host, Stephen Layton. Welcome to In My Mug and welcome to the news. So we should do this news thing. Movember coffee, the Movember blend, mustache, you get it? Very disappointing you're not buying all of this up already and selling out. We will be selling it up until we sell the 500, and every bag that we sell we're going to be giving 50 pence of that bag to Movember. I'm even suffering growing itchy facial hair. I want to claw my face off for it. But me, Roland, Luke, Richard and Pete are all growing moustaches, as are the girls. So you should definitely do this. Honduras Cerro Azul is back on the web shop and is fairly unlikely to make it to an In My Mug purely because there's not a lot of it and it's the only Honduran we have. It came a little late in the season, got it air freighted in, which is not the most ecological way of moving it, but it was the only way that we knew we were definitely going to see it. I think it's worth it. It's tasting amazing this year, so you should definitely have a look at that. Talking about things that are tasting amazing at the moment, I am most excited that Brazil Fazenda Cachoeira is coming back, and this year's, I'm going to say it, for me, is the tastiest and most delicious it's ever been. It's going to be up on the web shop super soon. I'm hoping it may already be up when this comes out, but if not, do keep checking. We've just got to tweak that roast profile a little bit and then it'll be going, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I think you are going to love it. And that ends what is the mind-blowingly, amazingly cash-weighted flavoured news and takes us to the Fukasan! So let's talk a little bit about Tolima. It's one of the 32 departments of Colombia, located in the Andean region in the centre-west of the country. It's bordered to the north by Caldas, to the east by Cundinamarca, to the south by Huila, which we talked about last couple of weeks, and to the west by Cacao. Tolima's surface area is 23,500 square kilometres, and its capital is called Ibagué. Department was created in 1861 from a part that used to be called Cundinamarca and was split up into different and smaller sections. So the interesting thing about this department, it has 47,500 farms owned by 34,500 coffee growers. So some of them own too. But the really interesting part, and quite unique to Colombia and definitely to here, is the average farm size is 0.79 hectares. That is tiny. That's like almost an Ethiopian levels of farm size. The varietals grown are 73% Caturra, 17% Castilla, which is the leaf-resistant rust one. The Caturra is this week's one, and 9%. Oh, crikey, I forgot. It's gone. Okay. It's like Huila, it's lots of its coffee is shade grown, but also lots of its coffee isn't shade grown, which is quite unusual. This week's coffee is called Finca Vergel. Let's get it back on track, 'cause I have no idea what I'm talking about. And this is a coffee we first stocked last year, and I'm so pleased to see it back. Initially selected from the trip in September 2012, where basically all of these coffees were bought on the cupping table by their taste profile alone. So we cupped them, selected them out. Same again this year, and this one came up again. And I think that's really interesting that this one has jumped out off the table at me twice. And definitely somewhere that I think we're going to be doing some more work over the coming years. I think it's somewhere that I really would like to try and focus down on. Another part of this coffee is that we have the Sun's coffee from the neighbouring farm. I'm really looking forward. That's going to be next week's In My Mug, so we're going to do a taste off with those. So save a little bit of this week's coffee for next week to basically try them side by side. The coffee is grown in the heart of Tolima, and it is in the north. I'm really not having a good day today. It's in the north of the county, and somewhere where we haven't really been buying lots of coffee. But Tolima and Huila are definitely my two most favourite departments in Colombia, and definitely I've seen some of the best coffees come from these parts. The farm's located in the Los Nevados National Park, and the reason it's called El Vergel is that is the name of the closest town. Sits in altitude around about 1,750 metres above sea level. owned by a chappie called Jose Javier Cruz and his wife Sylvia and their 5 children. This farm is 7 hectares, so I've just said 0.7 hectares is the average size. This is a big farm for Tolima, but in the grand scheme of things, it's actually not that big. Really interesting to kind of see the differences between Tolima and Huila. So hopefully you can kind of remember some of last week's, but it's going to be really interesting next week to taste this alongside his son's coffee, which is on the neighbouring farm. Same kind of set of circumstances for growing in, but well, I know for a fact quite different cups. So we should look at the facts of this farm. So the farm is called Colombia Finca El Vergel. It's from the southern Colombian state of Tolima, near to the small town of El Vergel, owned by a guy called Jose Javier Cruz, has an altitude of 1750 metres above sea level. The variety is Caturra. It is washed, it is dried on raised beds, but also dried in greenhouses, pretty similar to what we saw with the first one from this week, the Lacheria. And the main harvest goes from April to June. And that's it. So we should go and do the funky map bit.
It's the map bit. No expense spent. It's the map bit.
Hello. So we're going down to Has Been and back up again, and we're going to go across to South America. Really good to be looking at South America again. I know we've gone through Colombia and South America a lot, but let's do this. So, number of coffee growing countries, we've got 6, population of 387 million, a huge surface area where you compare it to the tiny UK. So let's get down into Colombia. Let's look at the country stats of Colombia, which we've been focusing on. 47.7 million, size 1.13 million square kilometres, capital is Bogota. Down into the bits that we're interested in, you can see El Vergel has just come on there, so we can see Nieva, which is the capital. It's actually closer, although this is in Tolima, and if you look at the map it looks like it's just out, but it isn't once you get into the, which I'll show you in a second. But the farm is Finca El Vergel, altitude of 1750 metres, the variety is Caturra, and the nearest town is El Vergel, which I will show you here. So this is the valley view of the farm, and then that is the village there. So you can see it's quite a small village and it's quite close to it. Unfortunately, it's not a great Google Earth image. And that was the map bit.
I've no idea how this map bit's going to have worked out because I haven't done it yet. Obviously recording this first, so I hope that it was good. But we should go to Roland's daft fact of the week. And I think he's getting ready for winter with his hat. The department of Tolima is also widely recognised for its distinctive cuisine, for famous regional dishes which include the tamal tolomés, a corn and yellow pea based paste with pork, egg, chicken and vegetable filling wrapped inside a plantain leaf. Tolima has also produced 10 of the presidents of Colombia since 1886. There's only been a total of 32. I wonder if the coffee and the food has anything to do with it.
Roland's daft fact of the week.
So, he's talking about presidents and food now. I never know Roland talk about anything but coffee, and now he's going all off topic and confusing me. So, Baginary was the last time we had the Wheel of Discovery. It's very slowly turning into the Wheel of Death. This week we're adding Presso. So, the Wheel of Death, Discovery, where it goes, nobody knows. And we go into Sarah's office. Fantastic. I hope she's in there.
So now you can see the mo properly. You say, oh, look, it's ginger mo. Who wants more ginger hair? Anyway, the Wheel of Discovery has come up with Sarah's office. So just see the boys there playing football. Say hello, boys.
Hello.
Kay sitting over there. Say hello, Kay. And Chris is very kindly making me the coffee, as he always does, because he's a good... didn't make him lose a point either. So we're going down the stairs, which is the way we've always gone. They've actually all finished work up there as well, and they're playing table tennis when they finish work. So we're down into reception, staff room that we've been into before. You remember the toilet incident where we went to the toilets? And this is Sarah's office, so say hello, Sarah.
Hello, Sarah.
And that was the Wheel of Discovery!
Okay, so I'm back and I'm going to dive straight into the espresso. Hope you like the Wheel of Discovery. I thought that was quite good. Nice to see the whole team here. So I'm going to dive into the espresso. And they have finished, by the way. They're just hanging around because they're good people. So, the espresso, the thing I think you noticed very different to the other ones is sweetness isn't the primary thing going on here. This is acidity. So, it reminds me very much of like white grape, a little bit of sparkle in there, and the descriptor I came up with a little bit as well was cider. It's just that kind of apple-y sweetness, but acidity is primary driver here. A little bit floral too, so it's a very, very good espresso. I'm just going to pour this now because this should be... So I'm playing with the Eva Solo teapot because I'm a bit crazy. But yeah, so I'm going to dive into the milk. Okay, so this is probably the first time in a few weeks that I've had the milk, and I don't think it's as good as the espresso. It's a little bit kind of, it's too subtle, if that makes sense. There's not enough to kind of punch through, and the milk really does dominate it. It's a good cap, but it's just not amazing. The espresso is delicious, and I know that this is going to be pretty special too. So there goes the, I mean, I talked about the cider in there. Really is appley, really is effervescent, and I think that's the thing more than anything, it's the texture of it. But florality comes through as well, and it's just very clean, very sharp, very distinct, very white grape. It's a really, really fine Colombian coffee, and a great example of what's typical of Tolima as well. So I hope you enjoy that. We should do a screen grab, and because I haven't prepared it, I don't know who it's from, but it will come up on the screen, and if your name comes up, you have to email in this week to let me know where to send your t-shirt. Okay, so we're done. Time to wrap up. Thank you very much for joining me, as always. And do remember, life is too short for bad coffee.